Minasan, konbanwa, welcome back. You know what konbanwa is actually meaning. What's the meaning of konbanwa? I already have mentioned about it in my previous video. If you want to see that, check the link down below. Over there, you will get the access to it. Otherwise, konbanwa is I am actually greeting you in the time of evening. That is what konbanwa is. And welcome back to day 2 of the Japanese Essentials, from phonetics to fluency, a structural approach to mastering the building blocks of the language. Now, why exactly the building blocks is required? Because guys, I actually am learning Japanese, so the basics are very important when it comes to learning or acing any language. And in our condition, it's going to be Japanese. If you are aiming to actually ace your Japanese language and to an extent is aiming for N5, this may be the deal for you, because I actually have curated the entire place for beginners. It's a beginner friendly, N5 friendly. So if you want something like this, check the entire video, stick till the end, and let's jump ahead. Okay, now in my previous videos, in my previous reels, I have spoken about the sounds. How exactly does it matter? Why does it change? Because the accessories are attached to it. It can be either TenTen or it can be Maru. And how the voice changes, the sound changes, this is how it changes. When the K has TenTen to it, it changes to Ga. S changes to Za. T changes to Da. H changes to Ba. Now here's the catch. When H has Maru, the circular one, not the TenTen, it changes to Pa. Now Dakuten and Handakuten are two different marks that you can actually see over here. When the two short dashes, or should I say two over here, apostrophe commas, these are attached, it changes the sounds. And when the small circular mark is added to the H line, that is the circles, the accessories, when attached, it changes the sounds to pa. Okay. And interestingly, as you can see over there, two different vocabularies have been added at the bottom layer. You can see Gakko, which is known as school, and Jisho is known as dictionary. Let's jump into the next slide. Now is the fluid sounds. What exactly fluid sounds means? It means when these letters are actually compiled together, it changes the sounds, how you stretch on the sounds, how much emphasis has been required. That, for example, when ki is attached with ya, it changes to kya. Now, what exactly does it change and why exactly does it matter? Because a lot many words in the Japanese vocabulary that you are going to see will have a stretch of the letters. When a big letter is being attached to another letter, now which letter, which sentences from which part? Okay, when we are looking at the ya series, we have ya, you, yo, already spoken about it. When the ya, you, yo are attached with the big letters, or let's say attached with the keys, or should I say e's of all the alphabets, it changes the sound. It needs to be spoken in one beat. For example, we have ki over here. When ki it is attached with the ya, it changes to kya. Likewise, there are in the K group you can see kya, kyu, kyo. In the S group you can see sha, shu, sho. In the HBP group you can see hya, bya, pya. Now this entire routine is going to be followed in all the E's, all the alphabet which is attached with the I or E alphabet, E vowel is going to change the sound, and it needs to be spoken in one beat. For example, cabbage is known as kyabetsu, 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 kyabetsu. And 100 is spelled as hyaku, hyaku, hyaku. You can see the pronunciation, the beat that over here matters. Next is the sound of silence, double consonants. The small su acts as a musical rest. How exactly? For example, if I am speaking about shoulder, in Japanese it is kata. You can see the lines, the waves of the sounds, it is continuous, it's not breaking. Whereas in the later one, which is one, it is katta. Katta. You see, katta, there is a space where you take a rest, a beat, which is actually missed. So when we have double consonants, it can be double T, it can be double S, it can be double P, it can be anything. When you see any double consonants being repeated in the sentence, you are going to take a break, and in that Japanese alphabet series, you are going to actually attach su to it. For example, straight is known as masugu, cafe is kisaten, wait is mate. You have seen a lot many animes, right? Over there they say mate mate mate, or any of the dramas that you come across, Japanese drama, you will see there will be mate mate mate, right? Likewise, ticket is kippu. As I've said, when we have double consonants, we are going to break the wave and we are going to add the su to it. That is all you have to understand over here. Now, let's understand our family hierarchy, shall we? We have all the members. A family comprises of multiple people like parents, siblings. So, what exactly are they known as? They, father is known as otosan, mother is known as okasan. As you can see, double O and double A, you are going to stretch them out. But when we have double consonants, we are going to miss a beat, right? So it is otosan, like father. Mother is okasa. And in the center, I have taken Watashi, I, as the base. And from there, we are going to actually connect all the place. So my father is Otosa. My mother is Okasa. And when I am going in the left corner, you can see there is older brother and older sister, right? Older brother is Onisa, whereas older sister is Onisa. Actually, you may get confused over here, but you have to see which vowel is being used over here, right? Whereas your younger brothers and younger sisters are going to be ototo, and sister is going to be imoto. So start asking your imotos and ototos to do tasks for you. Shall we do that now? Okay, now what exactly identities and pronouns matter? So over here at the center, I've taken watashi, which is I. You can actually take you, which is known as anata. You can take your friend, it is tomodachi. And what exactly identities of these people? Definitely your people, your family members may be actually going to schools, going to work, can be a doctor or any of the above. So a student in Japanese is known as gakusei. Office workers, like your people, your family members, maybe corporate employees, they can be known as kaishain. Doctors are known as isha. So we do have isha as a name in here in India, right? So you can just say isha, it's going to be easy. You don't even have to hustle over here. Now let's jump into the next slide. Let's understand the word quality and frequency. Now, we actually do certain set of things in our life often, sometimes, usually, not much, and not at all. We do say that, right? So in Japanese, they are going to be known as these many words. For example, if I do something every day, like I brush my teeth every day, then every day is going to be mainichi. Mainichi. And if you are somebody who eats, let's say you eat pasta often, then you're going to say yoku because you eat it often, right? But if you're someone who usually do something, for example, you usually watch a movie, then it's going to be tai tei. Tai tei. There are certain things that you do sometimes. You meet your friends sometimes, right? It will be toki doki. Toki doki. And when you are actually saying toki doki, you may actually be able to actually find that Japanese language is simple yet actually fun to speak ahead, right? When you do not do something much, let's say I do not eat brinjal, not much. I do not eat brinjal, not much, okay? There it's going to be amari. Now there are not at all. When you do something all the time, it's going to be mainichi. When there are also certain set of things that you do not do anything, that is your base point, right? For example, it can be anything. It can be I do not do this task at all. I do not cycle this bicycle at all. Not at all. So it's going to be zen zen. Now, let's go and see these two new words. These are going to be e and oishi. Now, a lot many times you may come across a lot many dramas, a lot many animes, a lot many locals from Japan. Actually, when they are agreeing to a certain fact, they will say a, they will say e, E, it's double I. That is good. And when you actually eat something, certain food that you eat and you find it delicious, you're gonna call them as oishi. So just make sure when you are describing a certain food, it's certain flavor that you have actually enjoyed, any taste that you have had on your tongue, you're going to use oishi for that, right? And either is going to be early or fast. That is known as hayai. Hayai. It's hayai. Hayai. Okay? Let's jump into the next one. Now, as you know, there are a lot of essentials around us, right? So, what are they actually called in Japanese? If there, I am talking about school, it is going to be gakko. Gakko. If I'm talking about my home, just understand my home, it's going to be uchi. Uchi. When I'm talking about company, it's going to be kaisha. Kaisha. When I'm talking about book, it's going to be hon. Hon. I already have spoken about the nurse. If you are still confused or you are new to it, just watch the previous video. I will attach the link to it. Okay. And if we are talking about pencil, it's going to be enpitsu. Enpitsu. When we are talking about newspapers, it's going to be shinbun. Shinbun. When we are talking about phones, it's going to be denwa. Denwa. When we are talking about the computers, like you may be watching from the computer or your phones, we do know now what they are called in Japanese, right? Phones are denwa and computers are pasokon. Pasokon. If you get an email, you are going to call it as mir. Mir. And this is all the most simple and basic thing that you can actually remember and recall. It's going to be so much grateful. These are some of the basics. We're going to see the next one in the coming days, definitely. Now, we are going to talk about food and dining culture. As you know, Japanese people or people from Japan, localites from Japan, are very, very, very polite. They are one of the most politest humans on this planet Earth that you can ever find. So they always, whenever they start their meal, say something, and whenever they end their meal, they say something, right? So when they start their meal, they always say itadakimasu, which means I humbly receive this food. And when they have enjoyed, had their food, they end it on a good note, which is gochi shoshama, which is it was a feast, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Gochi shoshama and itadakimasu. So now you have two new vocabs that you can actually use in your day-to-day life whenever you are having a meal, because now you know what itadakimasu and gochi shoshama means. So whenever you see any of the characters in anime or in any television series or any of your friends using these two terms, now you know what exactly they are, right? Now, when we are now talking about food, we have meals, items, and desi, prater, right? So when I'm talking about meals, you have meals at least 3 times a day, right? Your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, right? So in the breakfast, if you're having your breakfast, it's going to be asha gohan, asha gohan. Your lunch is going to be hiru gohan, hiru gohan. And your dinner is going to be ban gohan, ban gohan. Now, when we are eating something in our lunch, breakfast, or dinner, it's going to be something, right? It can be fish, it can be vegetable, you can drink water, you can drink tea, right? So, fish is in Japanese language is known as sakana, sakana. Vegetable is yasai, yasai. Water is mizu, mizu. Tea is ocha, ocha. And let's say you have had your meals, you have had certain items from the list above, and you really liked it. What are you going to call it as? I've just said in the previous slide, right? We're going to call it as oishi, oishi. Let's move in the next one. Now is time and time, right? We now know the timing. Now when I'm talking about now, in you may have observed, now what exactly now is called in Japanese? It is known as ima. So if you're watching this video today, it's going to be kyo, kyo. So you have to actually be very particular with the pronunciations. As I myself am a beginner, I might make some blunders here and there. And if you're someone who feels that it's a blunder, just write it in the comments down below, okay? And when are you watching this video? Also comment in the comment down below, okay? If you're watching it today, call it as kyo. If you had watched it yesterday, like I'm just giving an example, definitely not going to watch it yesterday because this video is going to be up today or tomorrow. Let's see. So if I'm talking about tomorrow, what is it called? It is called as ashita. If I'm talking about yesterday, it's going to be kino, kino. When now we are have talked about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Now comes last week, this week, next week. What are they called? What are they known as? Last week is known as senshu, senshu. Now because we have double U's over here, and even in the yesterday one we have OU, we have to be very particular. We have to stretch that word because this is how I have learned it. Senshu, konshu, konshu. It's not konshu, it's konshu. Then we have raishu, raishu. Now timing happens in two departments, right? In the morning and at in the evening or at night, right? So after a certain time frame you go into the PM zone, and in a certain time frame when you go into the AM zone. So what exactly AM zone is known as? It is known as gozen. Now, if I am talking about the PM zone, it is known as go-go, go-go. Now, let's say when it is 1 o'clock, what is it called in Japanese? It's going to be ichi-ji, as o'clock is known as ji, and ichi in Japanese is Japanese of 1. Let's say we are 1:30 time frame, so we can call it as ichijihan, ichijihan. And when we are talking about when, what exactly, we are asking a question, when, so it is known as itsu, itsu. Now we are again back to the day and the art of greeting. So what exactly greeting is known as in Japanese? It is aisatsu, aisatsu, aisatsu. Now, when we are talking about morning's time, we are going to say Ohayou, Ohayou. When we are in the afternoon zone, we call it Konnichiwa, Konnichiwa. And when we are in the time frame like I am right now, we're going to call it as Konbanwa, Konbanwa, because I'm making this video in the evening. That is why it's Konbanwa. If you're watching this video at night, you're going to call it as Oyasuminasai, Oyasuminasai. So when you watch this video in the morning, you are going to call it as Ohayou. And if you're going to be very polite, we are going to add gozaimasu, because we know Japanese are one of the most humblest humans on this planet Earth. And if you're watching it in the afternoon, it's going to be it's going to be Konnichiwa. Evening is konbanwa. So if you're watching this video in the evening, you know what you have to call it as. So write in the comments down below, okay? Now let's say home is the place when you are the safest. Now we know what exactly they are called in Japanese, right? Home is uchi. So when you are leaving your home, you're leaving your place, we're going to say sayonara. Sayonara. This is what I have learned. And then when you're leaving your home, you're going to actually say something. You're not going to just leave your home, right? You're going to say itekimasu, itekimasu. And when you are actually saying that I'll just go out and then I'll come back. Eventually I'll come back. So it is going to be itterasai, itterasai. After you are back to your home, your uchi, you're going to say tadaima, I am home, tadaima. And obviously, when you have a host, when you have your mother or your father or your siblings at home, they're going to say is okarinasai, okarinasai. This is something which is being said by the host or the members of the family. Okay, so just remember now what you have to say when you're leaving your home or you are coming back, or what your parents or your siblings or anybody in your family have to say. Now we know that, right? Let's now understand space. So when we have objects around us at a distance or any place, we're going to say something. Now that system is known as, that I would like to say as, koso ado system. Koso ado. Ko stands for kore. Kore. Kore means this. And if it is that, what are we going to say it as? We're going to call it as sore, sore. And if that object is away from both the parties, this system is being used when we have a speaker and a listener. Okay? When that object is away from both the parties, it's going to be known as are, are. Now, when we don't have any object around us, what are we going to say? Dore, dore. So when we use dore, just understand when dore is being dictated, it means which one, which. So now we know when we have a certain stuff close to us and it is close to the speaker, it is known as kore, kore. When it is away from the speaker but is with the listener and that speaker is saying, it's going to be sore, sore. When that substance or that product or that object is away from both the parties, which is the speaker and the listener, it's going to be are, are. And when it's not near to either of the one, it's going to be as dore, dore. Now the placing of the words, there is more, which is koko, soko, asoko. Koko means here, soko means there, asoko means over there. So just remember this and let's move ahead. Now we already have had our self-introduction. We are going to be back with it, right? And self-introduction in Japanese is known as Jikoshoukai, Jikoshoukai, Jikoshoukai. Okay? So starting is, again, we started with Hajimemashite, Watashi wa name this. So you, when you are watching this video, repeat with this slide. So Hajimemashite, Watashi wa, my name is Ankita. So I'm going to say Watashi wa Ankita desu. Ima dash sai desu. So what is your age? You're going to call it as your age. Okay. So when we are talking about age, that factor may have been covered in one of the previous videos. If not, just comment in the comments down below. I'll check it and let you guys know. Okay. And then we have major or occupation. For example, senko wa kaizai desu. Senko means major. Your subject is kaishai desu. Kaizai means economics. It's known as economics in Japanese. Then we have dash kara kimashita. So it can be your hometown, your country. If you're watching this from Tokyo, you're gonna say Tokyo karakimashita, definitely. Or you are someone who is watching this video from New York or from Delhi, you're gonna say it as New York karakimashita, Delhi karakimashita, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So people in Japan always start with on a polite note and end on a polite note, because as I have said earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, Japanese people are one of the most humblest and the politest humans that you can ever find on this planet Earth. So, this is what it actually means. Next is survival phases and classroom essentials. So, let's understand, if you are in your classroom and you do not understand something, what are you going to say to your teacher? Wakarimasen. I don't understand it. Wakarimasen. Do you understand the entire videos and the PPTs? If you don't, you're going to say wakarimasen. And if you do understand, you're going to say wakarimasta. When you are actually requesting somebody, like let's say you want to ask them to say it again, you're going to say moi ichido itte kudasai. Moi ichido itte kudasai. And if someone is speaking a lot faster, you're gonna say yukkuri itte kudasai. Yukkuri itte kudasai. And if you want to that person to wait. The most informal and the casual way can be mate. But if you want to use this in an entire sentence, in an entire sequence, you're gonna say it as chotto mate kudasai. Now, when you are going inside the classroom, you cannot actually enter without saying anything, because already we know Japanese people are very polite, and definitely when you are entering a new space and there is a host, there is a person who is actually managing the entire space, you are going to actually ask for permission, which is basic courtesy also. Please make sure, if you're not doing that, do that, okay? So when you want to enter the room, what are you going to say? You are going to say haitte moi desu ka? Haitte moi desu ka? Moi desu ka? Haitte moi desu ka? And if that host is actually allowing you, he's going to say hai haitte moi desu. If that person is not going to allow you, it's going to be iye. Okay? Now we come to the question part. All the time we have questions, right? We have a lot of queries, we have a lot of doubts. So what exactly each questions are known as? So if you want to say what, it's going to be nan or nani. If we are talking about who, we're going to say dare. Dare. Now, a very interesting thing, when you are actually adding no to dare, it changes to whose, which is going to be dare no. And now we're going to talk about dokko. What exactly dokko means? Dokko means where. Itsu is when. Why? We always have questions, right? Why we want to do it? What exactly why is known as Japanese? It's going to be do shitte, do shitte, do shitte, do shitte. As we have O and U, you have to actually pronounce it, you have to emphasize it. I may have missed out it. You do not, because pronunciations are the key when it comes to languages. I may have missed, you don't do that, okay? Now, when we are talking about which, it's either going to be dore, dono, dore, dono. Now, a few example, what is slash slash slash, what is whatever work that you want to talk about. What are you going to say? You're going to say wanan desu ka? Wanan desu ka? Let's say you're asking someone what is your hobby. Firstly, hobby in Japanese is known as sumi. So your question is going to be, what is your hobby? What is your hobby? So you're going to say sumi wa nan desu ka? Sumi wa nan desu ka? It's easy. Now let's go to the cheat sheet. Actions and particles. Actions and particles. So what exactly particles are? They actually connect your sentences. It can be nouns, it can be verbs, it can be anything. So they actually connect your entire sentence. The particles are the glues that stick everything all together. So the topic maker is wa, okay? Now the question maker is ka. When you are talking about somebody's possession, it's going to be no. When you are actually asking for the direction, time, or location, or when you are certain that you have to actually go to a certain place at a certain time at a certain location, we are going to use ni. And then we have object maker, o. O. So it's not going to be wo, it's going to be o. O. Now we have action words, the verbs. Now we have two verbs, you verb and ru verb. Au means meet, kau means buy, kaku means write, matsu means wait. Matsu means wait. When you understand something, what are you going to call it as? You're going to call it as wakaru. Wakaru. Now we have ru verb. Now ru verb, one of the ru verbs is iru, to stay or to be. And we can see there is a word written at the back of the slide. What is it actually known as? Good luck. Now, good luck in Japanese is known as ganbatte. Ette. We have tsu. We have tsu, right? Ganbatte. And that is all. That is all for today's video. So, stay tuned for such videos like such. If you like these, like, share, subscribe. You have any queries, ask it in the comments. If you feel that I have missed out, because definitely guys, I am a beginner, I am no professional, I actually am a learner over here. So I am sharing my journey, and you feel there is something that I may have missed out or unconsciously have butchered out certain words or pronunciations, free and be free and say it in the comments down below, because that is the only way I can learn. I am sharing my journey of my Japanese learning skills. If you are somebody who is a beginner wanting to share the same experience like me, follow along. If you feel there is something that I have missed, do let me know in the comments down below. Until then, bye bye, and stay tuned for videos like such. If you want something like this, write it in the comments. If you feel there is something that I missed out, write it in the comments. And if you like it, do share, like, and subscribe, because that is the only way I know that you guys genuinely like it. So stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye.